Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Minnesota Vikings. The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line.
Here we go, here we go. 180! Check.
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And not the start he was hoping for there, as he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Here we go,
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. That's complete to John Ross. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now, that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
One, Omaha. Hey, Team 6. 54. My 50.
Going to give this time to the tailback. Room to run past midfield. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point right down the middle, and it's now a 7-0 game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Stafford. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
And he's able to find Diggs. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 12 yards there, first down Vikings. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, Stafford. That's to Dalvin Cook, his running back. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
First down, here's the run with Cook. He will push his way down to about the 14. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Stafford. That'll be complete to Cook. Call it a gain of 3. And just like that, it's 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The sack by Jordan Willis.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal? That's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. So, yes, it's only 3, but at least they're able to answer back after giving up the touchdown to start the game.
Yeah, I like the observation there because getting some points on the board, very positive for them. Feel a little bit better about things because if you don't score, you potentially have opened the door for them to score again, and then you're down 14.
And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They had the touchdown on the opening drive of the ball game. It was countered by just a field goal. So, hey, if your guys can do that for 4 quarters, you're in good shape.
Yeah, it is a team game, so that's just good complimentary football. But, you know, I know I'm no brainiac, but you trade 6s for 3s, things are going to work out in your favor.
The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
First down, Cincinnati.
Here we go.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
I'm going to run you over.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Bengal got going a little early there.
Come on, baby, let's go. Get excited. Let's go. Let's go.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Yeah. You don't want none. Check 3 and check. White. Check. 13.
Garoppolo. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. There to knock that one away defensively, Eric Kendricks.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. Now they try the right side here. That'll get them some of what they needed, but they're still left here with a 3rd and 9 forthcoming.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here we go. 180. Check 55 to Mike. And let's get that home.
Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. He's got a first down. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this belongs to the Vikings. That's probably bringing back nightmares of last week, isn't it?
No doubt about it. Right now I'm looking over at the coaching staff, and I'm seeing the wheels turning in their heads. And you know what is happening? They're remembering how they started the season in camp, even in the offseason where they emphasized ball security, and they're wondering why the message isn't sinking in.
They have 5 turnovers last week, now 1 here in the opening quarter. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. Space to maneuver at the 40. And all the way down to the 17-yard line. A big play there out of Cook. 57 yards. Terrific run from one of the fastest backs in the game today, a guy who keeps defensive coordinators up at night, no doubt.
Remember when we were meeting with the D coordinator before the game and all he talked about was run fits, making...
And he will score! Touchdown, Vikings! Kyle Rudolph, his 2nd touchdown on the season, and the Vikings have taken the lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is now 10-7. 10-7 our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. Joseph now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going, and they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And he's into the clear. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Joe Mixon, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bengals are going to jump back in front. They erased that deficit pretty quickly, did they not? A 2-play drive.
What do we call that? Short-lived?
Very.
Very short-lived. 2 plays later, they're in the end zone and back out in front. We always talk about drives, don't we? Does 2 plays count as a drive?
Not really, but that second play was so good. I don't care what we call it. It was enjoyable to watch.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. These two teams trading touchdowns here in what has been a back-and-forth first half.
And ordinarily, we're trying to figure out how to break out of a stalemate.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jordan Willis able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a second and very long.
Switch.
Here's Stafford. And he's going to be taken down. Sacked back at the 2. Carl Lawson with a little how do you do as he gets in there for the sack.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Back to throw, Stafford. And a 1st and goal coming up here inside the 10-yard line. From their own 2, Charles, they opted to throw it instead of run it. We saw the outcome.
I think what a lot of teams count on is defenses to stack the line of scrimmage, trying to force a safety or force a turnover there. But if you've got a good defensive front, you just allow them to play the run and everyone else stays ready, and they picked that one off.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
I'm here all day. Mike 54. Mike 50.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. A nice run there as he picks up 6. It's going to be 3rd and goal now.
Here we go. Let's go, deep, tighten up. 2.
A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Now the Bengals will settle for 3 as the field goal unit comes on here. This is a fairly straightforward 22-yard short attempt. And his kick is right there. It's good. And that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Big ass.
They start the drive with Cook. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's Stafford. It's caught. Smith. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
50-50. He's checking crap. Kill. Watch the twist. Watch the twist. Jam.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Cook. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. And they give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Come on, boy, 7. You better be.
Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Carl Lawson picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. Just beating the play clock. Stafford. It's complete to Diggs. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 30 yards there. And, of course, the first down as well. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
32. 49, check 49, check 49.
Back to the ground, Cook. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 18-yard line.
On 2nd down and 4. Stafford. And Diggs has it. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
On 2nd and goal, Stafford. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Here we go.
The Bengals drive about to get going. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down. And it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Mixon. And an alley to run. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime.
Here we go. 20.
From the 41, Garoppolo. That's caught by his tight end, Uzama. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Now a timeout called with 3 seconds to go. And, of course, they're in field goal range in the final seconds of this first half. And his kick is indeed good. And that will do it for this first half. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. Able to push his way through, and he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Throwing again on second down. Stafford. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off at the 35. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
A little jet sweep to start the drive, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Here we go.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4.
11.
From the gun, it's Garoppolo. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. The defensive end, Danielle Hunter, drops him.
Well, partner, we know they came out of the locker room down on the scoreboard, but I will guarantee you the defensive side of the ball got super emotional. They can come out and play with aggressiveness, with fury, because they don't have to be quite as precise, and it paid off for them on that play, didn't it?
Sure did. Excellent play, really setting the tone for this third quarter. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Let's go.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. On 2nd and 7, Stafford, rush coming, and he's taken down. Jordan Evans leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Stafford. Left side caught by Diggs. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. A big gain of 28 as the drive continues. Stafford now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's 1st and 10. From the 50 at Stafford. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Is that not the very definition of a tough yard gain?
Now, is that one where as the receiver you go to your quarterback and say, why'd you even throw that?
Yeah, I think you do, and I think you wonder what type of a route are you going to send me on that only 1 yard's going to be the result? If I'm going to go in there and take contact, let's go ahead and get something out of it, not just 1 yard.
57. Mike, 50. Omaha, ready to move.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Stafford. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 36.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Stafford now 5 straight completions here in this 2nd half. 1st and 10. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. William Jackson with a pick. And they will take over at the 26-yard line.
180. Check tight, check tight, check tight, check 13, check.
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the 2nd half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space. And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And this is caught at the 8. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground, and the Bengals grab it. And the return will stop right around the 25.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect
him. No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA in playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helps him when he's trying to stop people running the ball.
Born in South Bend, Indiana. Thought about going back to go to Notre Dame, but you're right. Great career at UCLA and now a great career in the NFL. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw, it's Garoppolo. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Bengals in possession of the football and in possession of the lead as well as we start the 4th. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving. Kill. 21.
Looking to throw. Garoppolo. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11. Quite the turnaround from a week ago where he threw 4 interceptions. He hasn't had an interception this game, and he told us during the week, my goal, goose egg. He's achieving that so far.
And what we're seeing is a guy that you can win with, all right? Because anyone who can make that type of an adjustment to shake off a really horrendous week the week before and come back and play mistake-free football to this point, yeah, that's a guy I want to play with, that's for sure.
Here we go. Black 80!
Watch us
21. Here we go. Get hot! 55. Get hot!
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
And it's 3rd down.
Here we go. 180!
Check 55, Mike. Ricky.
Working from the gun, Garoppolo. He finds his running back, Mixon. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 37.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here. Down late, tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or a takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Check 26.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Now Bengals on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6.
Hey, Charlie!
Throwing now is Garoppolo. He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the 1st.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive, and they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. Escaping the pressure right. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in 1 game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
To try again after the sack. Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. 3rd and long. It's Stafford. This is Johnson. He's got it. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards.
22!
From the red zone now, Stafford. That's to Cook out of the backfield. This carry with the extra effort is going to get him stopped up just shy of the 10. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Hey, lady, alert!
Hey, let's get this.
Throwing again is Stafford. This is caught, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Stephon Diggs. His 2nd touchdown on the season as they are able to cut into that lead. So the touchdown was big. This almost equally big as he'll try to get it to a 1-score game with a 2-point conversion. Throwing to Stafford. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. A very pivotal 2-point try that does not go their way. Now it's a big uphill battle for the rest of the 4th quarter.
The attempt was to try and make it a 1-score game, right? Touchdown, get 2, and now you've tied it up. Instead, they don't get it, still down 10.
And this is going to be snuffed out. The Bengals recover. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, you got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1. And he gets it down to the 32. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be given a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they give this time to the tailback. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout.
Comes.
A loss of a yard on the play. And it's 3rd down.
Here we go.
The 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down. road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Bengals, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they will fall to 1-1. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Minneapolis, so long, everybody.
we go. Waiting, take. Here 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 we go. Waiting. Waiting, take.